Watch this video, then we'll talk.
Did y'all know that during the First World War, when the black soldiers were sent away on deployment, they would send money home to their wives, enough so that they didn't have to work? And they didn't. So they became stay-at-home wives, stay-at-home moms. And this pissed some people off, and you know who. Mainly the white women. Because now, all of a sudden, all these black women were staying at home and not working and taking care of their families. And they were pissed because they lost their maids, their cooks, and all the other domestic workers. What had happened was they complained. And so much so, there was a law passed, or a black code that was passed during this time, that forced black women to go to work. They had the nerve to complain and call black women loafers and lazy. Sound familiar? Sound like today's times, right? Anyway, black women had to go to work, and if they didn't, they were fined or sent to jail. And I just want to say that it's pretty revolutionary if you decide to rest. So take that PTO, girl. Take that vacation, sis, and rest.
First of all, I'm going to be tagging OP in the description. Definitely go and give them a follow. I would also like to expand this conversation, not just in that our rest has always been political, which means that it has always been revolutionary for black women to rest, period, and it is an active thing. In this piece of Black history, we hear about how black women were able to rest because their husbands that were at war were able to give them money so that way they can take a breather. They can have a moment, right? That is not to say that black women and black families were not at war in the United States before their husbands were sent off to fight a white man's war somewhere else. Right? So let's take that. But it's not like the war just started abroad, right? The United States, especially for black people, has always been a war zone. One. Two, the fact that they had the ability to rest. They knew, their husbands knew, the ones that were sending them money knew that as soon as they came back from the other people's war, that rest would have to, they were recharging for what? The war back home. And that is not always to say that our rest has to be a recharge to fight another fight, but I am saying that the intentionality, the purpose of our rest is not always the purpose of our rest. How do I say this? We are resting with purpose. It's not that kind of rest or slothfulness or where you just like sit down and you continue to sit down and then and then you don't do anything. There tends to be, and I don't want to say always because painting with broad strokes is all, but in my experience, when black women rest, it's always a preparation. There it is. It's always a preparation, and it can be a preparation for a greater good, for a new idea, for art, for creativity, for community, or it could be a resting to recharge, to organize, to strategize, to heal, to mend wounds, in preparation for the rumbling that we all feel coming. Do you guys remember at the very beginning of this incredibly long year, this year that feels like a decade? It's not even been a year yet. Oh my God, hasn't even been a year yet. When the election results came out and it was proven that the Orange Demon and his administration were going to be put in, and everybody said, black women rest. Black people in general rest. Black women, 92%, rest. And then recently, I will see that a lot of people have been up in arms saying like, oh my gosh, this is why you shouldn't have been resting. This is why you did it. If you are resting, tends to be a preparation. We knew that this was, and I know that I've been saying this on this platform for a while. We knew, I statement, Shayna, I statement. I knew that there's moving happening outside, bear with me. I knew that we knew that this administration was coming for us. No matter what, we knew that this administration was coming for us. Yes, they might have tried to quote unquote open the door when it came to undocumented people. First of all, undocumented people come in all colors, all races, all ethnicities. They've been shipping out everybody from, yes, some white people, but a lot of Asian people, a lot of Latino people, and a lot of, well, Latino people also covers like every skin tone imaginable, and a lot of Black people. So we we knew that the slave catchers were going to kidnap people. And as always in the United States, Black people are the first on their list. So yes, we needed time to rest. You don't go and send out Rocky after 8 matches of fighting somebody to then continue the next tournament. Rocky needs a moment. Rocky needs a breather. Why? Because he knows that tournament is coming. And Rocky has the most experience fighting these tournaments, succeeding in a way of like progressing things forward, even though these tournaments are built against Rocky's very existence. Have I seen a Rocky movie? No. Does it matter? No, because I think that the point still stands. And what have we been resting for? Now, this is just a quick screen grab. I'm not saying that this lady is Black or not. I am saying Ice tried, New Yorkers persisted. It's been starting in Portland. I can't even say starting in Portland. We've been seeing a lot of it come out of Portland when it comes to civilians fighting back. Fighting back. Yes, it's scary. Yes, a lot of people are going to get very seriously hurt. Potentially worse. Guess what? They're gonna try to take people anyway. They already said that they're open to taking citizens. They're already trying to label everybody that disagrees with the administration as Antifa. I listed my concerns about this a while ago. List videos right up there, right? So they're going to be taking folks anyway. And we know that if we just look at DC and what they've done to the Black communities in DC, doing insane sweeps of the Black community, instigating, trying to take people, arresting people. They took kids. There's whole other videos that I will make about that. They were arresting kids. They took disabled kids into ICE facilities, citizens into ICE facility, like deporting children. Like, it's insane. This is what we have been resting for because we knew that it was only a matter of time. Nobody listened to us before. Now it's affecting everybody. And this fight is going to be long. It's going to affect people overseas. I'm living overseas, and this fight, there are in the Black experience, there's always going to be a version of a fight because anti-Blackness is global in the same way that white supremacy is global. And if you want to leave, you can leave. If you want to take this, if you want to see what is going on and say, you know what, I can't, I gotta get out of here. There's no heat, there's no judgment, not on this page, because I saw what was coming down the pipeline a few years ago and I said, I can't do it. I can't do it. I have an autoimmune disease. I know that they're coming for the chronically ill, disabled people. I saw what they were doing during COVID. I'm like, this is reeking of, I'm gonna have an issue. And if I have an issue, I'm paralyzed, quite literally. My spine starts deteriorating because of my autoimmune disease. I said, I cannot risk it. I need to go. There are ways to go. There are so many people that are trying to figure out how to go. And I think that within this government shutdown, I might make an entire other video about this government shutdown because there's so many like strings attached to it that they're trying to just bottom out straight to the basement of hell. And there's still time. I know that they're trying to, first of all, they're repeating US history, period, point blank, but there's a lot of overlaps with World War II. And one of those ways is trying to keep people trapped and tired. Trapped, tired, overworked, stressed, and then in the midst of it all, kidnapping folks. So yeah, we needed to rest because now is happening. So if you're interested in potentially moving abroad, head over to Black Babes Abroad. I'll have the link right up here. It's also in the description. There's also a free checklist in the description. We're helping people create a plan that works for your life, for your lifestyle, for who you are as an individual person who is trying to immigrate to somewhere safer, somewhere more peaceful, somewhere more restful, in an intentional way. So if that's something you're interested in, that's where the information is. And if you are deciding to stay, we rest for a reason. The reason is here. The reason is in front of us. The reason is destroying families, and hurting, disappearing a lot of people. I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer. Wish I did. I don't. I think that's going to be all for today. Please leave your thoughts in the comments section. Take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Even in the midst of everything, take care of yourselves. Love you all. Stay safe out there.